I often get asked to review books, and I do get sent some really wonderful pieces of work. Unfortunately, sometimes I get some stuff too that's a little bit, I don't know that I would want to review it, not because
Absolutely.
it's bad, but I don't think it was well thought out. So my question to you, Dom, and to kind of sort of help the guys and gals out there that are considering to write a book, let's talk about some fundamentals that need to be in place to have a book that A, would be well received, and B, that is passing along accurate information.
You know, when somebody wants to invent something, an invention must happen because there's a need for it.
Right.
When there's a need for that, that's when great ideas come about. When you find a need for it.
Yeah.
So any drum book, as I have done it, all of my drum books, believe it or not, all of my drum books, I wrote the book easily 10 years or more before the book was published.
Right.
What I do is I write the ideas down and I begin to use it within my lessons and work it with the students. And I test market the idea and I see how it works. And I try it with all the different students. And I try it, and then I go back to my desk and I rewrite it, and I go back and I do it, and it's an ongoing process. And it takes me about anywhere between, I'd say between 7 to 10 years
Wow.
before I feel this book now is worked, so it knows how it should be laid out.
Yeah.
And then I have the thing handwritten. Then I have somebody type it on Finale, and then from the Finale version, as I'm using that with the students, it then goes from there to print.
Yeah.
So I would say to anybody, when you have an idea, write this idea and get it into Finale, because when you get it into Finale, it looks more professional than just a hand-scribed written document. And when you get a professional and you begin to show some students, then after I show some students, after about 4 or 5 years of showing students, I then begin to show other teachers, guys that I have that are in my area here on Long Island where I live, and I show them. They look at it, they give me some feedback, and I take all this feedback, I juxtapose it all, and if there's a teacher that helped me with an idea, I mention his name in the book.
Right.
Thanks to Mike Catalano for his input and his ideas.
Yeah.
So they unlock the door. So there has to be an open mind. There's a lot of material out there. So I say to a lot of the young guys that want to write books, do your research. If you have a book on odd time signatures and that's what you want to write, great. Do the research.
Right.
Go out there, find it from the publishers, from Alfred Music, alfred.com, halleonard.com, carlfisher.com, hudsonmusic.com. Go by there onto their websites and see what product relates to what you're thinking about. And then buy the book.
Yeah.
Buy the book.
Yeah.
Have the book come in so you can actually look at it
Yeah.
and be aware that you're not plagiarizing something.
Right.
You're not writing something that's already been written.
Yeah.
And many guys, when I make them do that exercise, they come back to me and say, gee, Dom, really, my idea's already been done. So I say, well, okay, now work on the idea and see if you can come up with a little different twist.
Right.
It may take you a couple of years.
Yep.
So to write a book, you got to be a dedicated, you got to have perseverance. You got to really have that passion to understand what it takes to write a book. Like you mentioned my book, The Cycle of Self-Empowerment. That book literally took me 17 years to write.
Yeah.
17 years before that book came out. Now, if someone thinks they're going to write a book so they can market themselves or make money out of it, if that's the motivating force, that's probably not the best place to start.
Exactly.
If someone's starting a music career because they want to make a lot of money and become famous, that's probably not the best place to start. If somebody wants to go into the real estate business, knowing that they want to sell houses just so they can make a lot of money, that's probably not the best place to start. So I always say, if your sincerity is to step into any project or any career because you want to learn as much about it and you want to have passion and live and enjoy the journey of learning, that's probably a better place to begin with, to get involved in that craft or that art form or that job.